Ladies and gentlemen, the most exciting stage show you've ever witnessed, appearing live.
I was teaching children's fine art classes at Pleasant View Baptist Church. One day, I saw this young lady sitting on the steps, and she was watching us work. I asked her, did she like art? She said yes, ran up the steps. The next week, she was sitting on the steps, but only closer to the class. I asked her if she wanted to join our class. She ran up the steps again. The third week, she was closer to the class, and I asked her, did she want to join our class? She came to the class, sit in the back of the class, and started to work. I realized then that her work was exceptional. I was teaching middle school students, and she was an elementary student, and her work was better than the middle school students that I was teaching. And they were all talented and gifted. That's the Robyn I know.
Being at Pleasant View, my grandfather, before he passed, was the minister there, and I was exploring, and the basement was usually like a quiet place. When I saw people down there doing stuff, I was like, who are these people and what is going on? And I remember not wanting to be seen when she asked me if I wanted to draw, finally saying yes, going to the back, being quiet, and just like having a good time in my own very small, insular sort of way. That experience shifted a lot in me. Miss Bethel, she was a light. And so every Wednesday was like my refuge. I had CFA to think about, and if nothing else, I was gonna be creative that day.
Robyn has found her voice. I realized that she had found her voice when I went to her exhibit last year. And I walked in the door, and all I could say was, wow, Robyn has morphed. Her beautiful portraits, her beautiful big drawings, the tiny pieces that she made were hers alone. Normally I go to past students' work, and the work usually is a copy of their mentors. This wasn't. This was Robyn, and Robyn alone.
My work is, at its core, about healing. My figures, they're informed by boxing because that is one of the ways that I found myself. It's not just about the physical violence, but it's also about that emotional and internal violence that we put on ourselves and internalize. I'm a Black woman in America who has some childhood trauma that she's dealing with, also racial trauma, and all kinds of things that, weigh on you. It's my way of addressing those things while also pulling out the beauty of my own humanity, also recognizing that I'm not the only one who goes through these struggles. As I'm examining myself, creating a safe space for others to do that for themselves as well. I have a good friend who's an art therapist who says you can't heal what you don't reveal. And so through my work, I try to reveal those hurtful things, but heal from them and make something that's beautiful out of them.
So part of her morphing into who she is the time she spent in New York. And she seems to have meshed the Kentucky part of her and the New York part of her together to give you these beautiful pieces that she does. We are extremely lucky to have Robyn back in Kentucky.
There can't be too much preciousness in my work because I have to be honest. And sometimes that niceness or politeness gets in the way of the honesty. And it needs room to grow just like I do. So if it needs to break in order to become something else, it's gotta break.